What you're about to hear is not a story from North Korea. This is not a leaked report from China. This didn't happen in Putin's Russia. No, this is happening right here in the United States of America. An American city, Los Angeles, is now under military occupation. U.S. Marines deployed at the command of Donald Trump have done the unthinkable. They illegally detained a civilian, an American, a veteran. And the whole thing was caught on camera. Let me say this again. Our own military has just zip-tied an American citizen on U.S. soil. This is what authoritarianism looks like. This is what it feels like when democracy starts to die. And we cannot, we will not, let this become our new normal. The horrifying event occurred near the Wilshire Federal Building in Los Angeles. The victim, Leao, hopefully I pronounced that last name correctly, an Iraq war veteran, a U.S. citizen, a man on his way to visit the VA. His crime? Walking past a yellow tape barrier on public ground. That's when it happened. Members of the 2nd Battalion, 7th Marine Regiment, armed and uniformed, surrounded Leao and detained him, zip-tied him, treated him like an enemy combatant. Not a word of explanation, not a shred of legal justification, just brute force. He was held for approximately 10 minutes, then handed over to Homeland Security, who also had no legal reason to hold him, and ultimately released him. But the damage was already done. Let's be absolutely clear. Even a single second of detainment by the U.S. military on American soil without congressional authorization is illegal. This is a direct violation of the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878, and unless the Insurrection Act has been invoked, which it has not, this was an unconstitutional illegal use of military force against a U.S. citizen. Let's break it down, because this isn't just about a legal technicality. This is about the very soul of American law. The Posse Comitatus Act, passed in 1878, is one of the bedrock laws that keeps our military out of civilian life. It forbids the use of U.S. Army or Marines to enforce domestic law unless explicitly authorized by Congress. Why does this matter? Because this law protects us from becoming a military dictatorship. Because this law is what prevents a president, any president, from sending tanks into cities when people protest. Because this law is the firewall between democracy and authoritarianism. I just chopped that word up. And Donald Trump, he just smashed through that firewall. Leao is not just any man. He is a veteran, a patriot, a man who risked his life for this country in Iraq. He earned his citizenship the hard way, through military service. And now, after all of that, this is how his country repays him, with handcuffs and humiliation. According to reports, Leao was calm, cooperative, and completely unaware that he had crossed any line. He simply walked across a yellow caution tape and was swarmed by armed Marines. Think about that. The military, acting without orders, detaining a man for walking in the wrong place. Does that sound like America to you? Or does that sound like North Korea? Let's not sugarcoat what this is. Donald Trump wants power, absolute power, and he's using the military to get it. The deployment of Marines in Los Angeles was never about keeping peace. It was about sending a message, a warning, a flex of authoritarian muscle. This is what fascism looks like when it arrives. Not with a bang, but with a press conference and the flag pin. Trump doesn't want to be president. He wants to be commander for life. This illegal detainment was not a mistake. It was a test. He wanted to see what he could get away with. And unless we push back, it will only escalate. Los Angeles is no longer just a city. It's a staging ground. Black Hawk helicopters buzz overhead. Armed convoys roll down Sunset Boulevard. Military checkpoints block entire neighborhoods. This isn't security, it's occupation. Citizens are afraid to leave their homes. Journalists are being followed in film. Protesters are being kettled, tear gassed, and tackled. This isn't about safety, it's about control. And history tells us exactly what comes next. Authoritarianism never starts with a concentration camp. It starts with fear. It starts with soldiers in the streets. It starts with few people saying, well, maybe this is necessary. This is how it always begins. Germany in the 1930s, Chile in the 1970s, Russia in the 2000s, and now the United States in 2025. Let this be a wake-up call. If they can detain a veteran, they can detain anyone. This is not a drill. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not a partisan talking point. This is fascism in real time. We need investigations. We need accountability. We need to demand that Congress take action. And if they won't, we need to vote every last coward out of their seat. Share this video. Speak out. Protest. Organize. Call your representatives, because if we stay silent, we're giving our permission. America is on a razor's edge. This is not about left versus right anymore. This is about freedom versus fear. Democracy versus dictatorship. And in that fight, we all have to play a role. Don't look away. Don't stay silent. This is your country. Fight for it. Please share this video. Get this message out there. Subscribe, like, and comment on this video. We need to take our country back from the dictator that is in office.